My name is Siheen, and I'm from Southern Ontario. Um, I was not feeling well, and I have a history of getting panic attacks. And that particular December 2022, I felt like I was getting the worst panic attack of my life. And when my friend who was out of town came to visit, she saw how I looked like. She's saying, "Don't panic. I have this amazing tool, health tool in my car. I'm going to get it and we're going to just try it and just see how you feel. And if you still need to go to the emergency, you can." So we ended up in a coffee shop and she did the protocol. So she briefly explained, but she was kind of trying to move quickly on me. And the two other friends were watching what she was doing. So, she turned it on. It kind of looked like an old school cell phone. And so she started to put it over my adrenals. And I didn't give much thought to my adrenals prior to that, but she was explaining, you're going to start to feel calm. So she did it on both sides of the adrenal glands, moved to the sacrum, the tailbone. By the time she got to the occipital ridge, if I'm saying that correctly, my friends were noticing, and I was noticing that all of that tightness in my body was starting to go down. I was starting to feel like this kind of boost in my energy, like when you drink, I guess, a power drink or you have tea or something. And even the color on my face, they were noticing was perking up. Like you started to see my cheeks getting a little bit of color, my eyes. And then by the time she finished, because you do it on your the two sides of your neck and you do it over your heart. And by the time we finished with that, I just thought, okay, I've not felt like this rejuvenated in a long time. And actually, we had a very good evening. And I was just really blown away by that. And looking at it, again, it didn't seem like it held that much power. But I felt it on my body, that was quite life-changing for me in that moment. So that was my first experience with it. Fast forward still, we're in December of 2022, and it was the end of the month now. So when she did the first time the still point protocol on me, that was in the middle of December. Fast forward to the end of December, I experienced some really intense abdominal pains, and I didn't go that evening. I did my treatments that I have and I managed, but it was hell. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I meet up with her at a New Year's party and she's got the laser again and she's trying it on everyone. But I told her, I said, it's been 2 weeks since I've had this lulling, dragging pain. She said, okay, we're going to do the still point on you, which was all the different areas. But this time we're going to try. And there was a setting she was doing that was called relieve and soothe. So she thought, let's put that over your abdomen and just let it sit there for a good 20 minutes. So focus that time. And for the first time in 2 weeks, I could feel that area that was really bothering me. I could start to feel it I know the term you guys are using, and I agree, like it's loosened up. And I didn't feel that tension and that pain kind of started to dissipate. And I was so grateful. And she said, okay, let's do it a little bit more. And we're going to do a little bit more unwind on the tailbone. So she was kind of letting me really have more time with it. And even more relief from the pain was happening. And that, like, I started to get emotional thinking, okay, this is something different happening. And I saw her fast forward a few more times after that. And all she did was just the protocol each time on me. And by the third, fourth time, I said, I really need to get this because I think it's going to actually give me a second chance. I bought it finally in the summer of 2023, and I've been using it ever since. And there's been different intervals I notice with each month that my body seems to unlock. It's almost like an onion where there's one layer of, you had these symptoms this month, that's starting to disappear this month, and using that and kind of getting creative with it, and then finding the different points also intuitively. Like there's a few settings that I go back and forth with, and just kind of putting it at different areas of my colon. And for the past 2 months, when my cycle started, I did not have a day where I was bedridden. I took a little rest, but normally for several years, I know that I would be bedridden. And I'm just very grateful that I can now look forward, and I'm going to keep it up, that I can still get on with my life. I know, it's a good time to slow down for women, but to know that I don't need to be bedridden is really life changing. And I would love for more women to know that this portable device, which you can keep on you can take it to work, you can take it to school, you can take it on the bus. If you feel something coming on, you can put it on yourself and you'll feel the relief. And it's also like a protection mechanism because you're clearing your cellular memory. As you can see, this is violet, but sometimes it can flash red. The different settings, each one has different powers. That is bringing down the inflammation. So you can physically see that. When I see that, I know also, yep, that's another proof that it's working. Being able to have something that's portable and not very large, and actually having a good charge. When you charge this, it has 4 bars, but you can get a full day's use out of it. And I really appreciate that because, yeah, if you're having a busy day or if you know there's going to be a time when you don't feel well, and being able to just put that in your bag or discreetly kind of place it under your clothes, because again, it's not bulky. It's that is an amazing feature because you're not always going to come across a plug-in, right? And even if you plugged it in when you're out in public, what about if you get distracted and forget it or something? So no, I like the fact that it's portable, it's on me, and I have the control because I want to protect it. I don't want to lose it or something. And it's also cool because I can show other people having it portable. If I by chance see a friend or if I want to explain, it's cool because they're not tied up, I'm not tied up, and it's free flowing. And I really like that feature. So, and it's lightweight. It's not heavy either, as you can see. So I've watched Paul's videos about still point, and even in the lectures when he just gets people to drop into still point, I've been trying to adapt that first and foremost into my life. It recenters me. When you take it and add it in the addition with the laser, that's really brilliant because I understand how too much adrenaline from our that shoots into our bodies, it creates blocks and a blockage, basically, of the flow of energy, flow of blood, and everything. So being able to target that with the infrared and the red light, red laser, and actually feeling your body start to unwind. Like when you say unwind, your jaws are tense. You start doing it on your occipital ridge, you can feel that tension go down. And the vagus nerve, that's really important. So when I focus on my vagus nerve, I feel almost in a mild form, like a sedation comes over me, if I can describe it. I don't fall asleep right away, but I feel calm. So combining that and targeting those areas, it's because we're not able to be like a yogi. We haven't went and done training for that. Most people's lives are very busy. So if we can get something that mimics that experience, I'm feeling that I need to do that sometimes twice a day. I do it at least once a day, the different settings. And I do find that it is giving me a boost, a much needed boost, because life can be very draining and stressful. So very intelligent and a good idea. And it also causes us to be mindful because we don't need to maybe be so reactive in life, when we see how much damage that stress does to our body, uh, we can be mindful not to engage in too much reaction. Like he says, we need to be more vertical, I think, as opposed to just horizontal in our reaction. To Paul, from my heart, I really can see and sense that you have a genuine desire to bring healing to people, and that you understand the value that when we heal, it's not just for ourselves, it's for everyone, and creates a ripple effect. And the way that you've designed and taken the time to design the product, and how you relate to people and the encouragement, it does bring like trust, and you feel that, like I said, you're genuine and you want to see people do better. And it's not just strictly a business thing. It's how can we heal as a community and then contribute that back to the earth? Because I know me feeling better and having this hope that I can have a second chance, and not just for myself, my animals and people around me. And from my heart, I am really, really grateful. I am Siheen, and I love my laser, and I think you will love it too. And please try it.